It's no longer just Hollywood that considers Nicolas Cage a freak. He's willing to eat insects for his role, and his personal life could be made into a movie in the spirit of passion-filled and unexpected twists and turns of Indian cinema. His obsession with comic books and expensive cars is an example to young city managers of how not to manage finances. But the actor is not discouraged. Negative experiences are the basis for positivity. Childhood and youth. Nicolas Kim Coppola was born in 1964 into the family of a dancer and a literature professor. The actor, director, and producer took the last name of the comic book character Cage to distance himself from his famous relatives, the author of The Godfather Francis Ford Coppola and the composer grandfather Carmine Coppola. When the artist was 12 years old, his parents divorced. But this did not spoil Nicolas and his older brother Christopher's relationship with his father and mother. As a young man, Nicolas was a daredevil and an anarchist, released his energy as a stuntman, and since then he cannot imagine life without risk. That the guy will be a creative biography, said the participation in school productions and classes at drama schools. At 17, Cage passed his final exams early, and then went to conquer Hollywood. Movies. The actor made his film debut in 1981. He appeared in the TV series Best of Times. Then there were a few more film roles, which did not bring much fame. No matter how hard Cage tried to distance himself from family ties, it was Francis Ford Coppola helped him in his career by offering to play in Rumble Fish, The Cotton Club, Peggy Sue Got Married. A world fame came to Nicolas after starring in David Lynch's Wild at Heart. The director himself wrote the music for the film, and Nicolas sang the song. Laura Dern on the set not only agreed to erotic scenes, but also smoked 4 cigarettes at a time, after which she fainted unpretentiously. The drama Leaving Las Vegas brought the actor a Golden Globe Award and the Screen Actors Guild of America, the Silver Shell, and the Oscar. His partner in the film, Elizabeth Shue, as well as director Mike Figgis, were nominated but never received the coveted statuette. John O'Brien, the author of the autobiographical novel that formed the basis of the script, committed suicide shortly before filming began. The film failed to live up to its $4 million budget despite high critical acclaim, as it was in limited release. The 1997 action movie Face Off about a confrontation between a terrorist and an FBI special agent, played by Cage and John Travolta, is included in Time Out's list of 100 greatest action movies. Initially, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, Harrison Ford and Michael Douglas, Bruce Willis and Alec Baldwin, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Steven Seagal were considered for the central character roles. But the appointed director and producer John Woo opted for Nicolas and John. They had to spend 2 weeks together to adopt each other's gestures and intonations. One of the best films in the filmography of the actor is considered Gone in 60 Seconds. Its budget was $90 million, 20 of which went to Cage's fee. At the box office, the thriller at times justified the cost, having collected $237 million. Artist in preparation for the filming of The School for Stunt Drivers and most of the stunts at the wheel performed himself. After the end of the project, racing cars became his hobby. The fleet used in the film was truly unique. Sway's 199 OC Agustus Sarai Owaro motorcycle was from a limited edition of 300. Cage received another Oscar nomination for the tragicomedy adaptation. Partners on the set of this film for Nicolas were Meryl Streep and Chris Cooper, who won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. For the filming, Cooper grew his hair, lost weight, and used a denture to create the illusion of a toothless mouth. The film brought the makers $32 million at the box office on a budget of $19 million. Nicolas's partners in the film next were actresses Julianne Moore and Jessica Biel. Also in the action movie in a cameo role appeared actor's wife Alice Kim. And attentive viewers may have noticed that the diner in the film is the same one that was filmed in the action movie XXX with Vin Diesel. Not all films with the actor received positive reviews from critics. Cage won the Golden Raspberry Anti-Award for his roles in The Wicker Man, Ghost Rider, Drive Angry 3D, Left Behind, and Snowden. The actor has no social media account, with fan pages filled mostly with photos reminiscent of his old projects. American press has noted that the actor has begun to take on low-budget projects that do not sparkle either the script or the names of those involved. He himself says he does not want to sit on a boring, monotonous movie diet. 2019 saw the premieres of the thriller Grand Isle and the drama Pig. The latter was the directorial debut of Michael Sarnowski and screenwriter Vanessa Block. Almost all members of the crew had previously only worked on short films, and the minimal budget did not even allow to hire a trained pig finder. Most of the scenes are done from the first take. Barring a break due to the pandemic, the total filming time for the project was only 20 days. The picture was highly praised by the critics and the attention of the audience. Only for the first 3 days the film brought in almost $1 million. The total receipts amounted to $3 million. Play himself, and even in a young and mature version, Nicolas was lucky enough to play in the action comedy film directed by Tom Gormican, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Curiously, the concept of his character had many references to the actor himself. These include his financial difficulties and his status as a Hollywood star. And the scene in the car with Pedro Pascal became the basis for memes showing the clash of sanity with absurdity. An interesting experiment for Cage was his participation in the horror film Willy's Wonderland. His character had very few lines, but the actor suggested that the producers generally remove them from the script. In an interview, the performer said that he was curious to see if he could show the character with just gestures and facial expressions. Problems with finances. For many years, Cage was considered one of the most popular and well-paid actors in Hollywood. But his fortune, which was estimated at $150 million, the artist has squandered, buying luxury mansions, yachts, dozens of luxury cars, and antiques. Among his expensive purchases include islands, castles, menagerie with shark, cobras, pet octopus, and crocodile. Not all transactions movie stars were legitimate. An ancient dinosaur skull had to return to the Mongolian government, as well as say goodbye to $300,000 paid for a valuable relic. The crisis in 2008 at times devalued the real estate acquired by Nicolas, which had lost liquidity. According to media reports, the state of the artist was $25 million. But accustomed to luxury, the actor continued to live the high life, increasing debts. The next year, the tax authorities accused the Hollywood star of not paying more than $6 million. The property of the artist was arrested. Cage asked for installments and began selling yachts, cars, and real estate. Claims on loans of tens of millions more made by banks. Cage tried to evict the mother of his eldest son from the house, which he bought her, but put it in his name, and also wanted to sell to pay off debts. Nicolas himself was suing his former manager, whose fault the artist believed he was ruined. In 2021, the tax debt exceeded $14 million, because of which Cage lost his estate in Las Vegas. Personal life. A man of tall stature and unusual appearance, someone finds in Nicolas a resemblance to the king of shock Marilyn Manson. Women have always paid attention. The eldest of the children, Weston Coppola Cage, was born to the celebrity by actress Christina Fulton. The actor's ex-wives. The first official wife was Patricia Arquette. Cage proposed after an hour of acquaintance. The couple failed to buy tickets to Cuba, where the wedding was planned. At the airport, the actor began to scandalize, and the bride, taking advantage of the moment, ran away. The re-meeting took place in 1995. In fact, the marriage fell apart after 9 months, and only in 2000, Nicolas filed for divorce, but then withdrew the application. Then the papers were drawn up by Arquette. The second time Cage married Elvis Presley's daughter Lisa Maria after she left Michael Jackson. This union lasted 109 days. Nicolas's third wife was waitress Alice Kim, a Korean of nationality. In 2005, the woman gave the actor a son. The boy was named Kal-El, after the comic book superhero. In 2014, Nicholas Weston's eldest son and his wife Danielle had a boy, Lucien Augustus Coppola Cage. The actor became a grandfather. In January 2016, Cage and Alice Kim separated. The reason for the divorce was cited as his wife's infidelity. The Hollywood star registered his fourth marriage in March 2019 with Erica Koik. Cage's eccentricity has not diminished. Not only that, according to his lawyers, at the time of the decision to marry he was drunk and did not give an account of his actions, but he also broke the anti-record for the speed of divorce. The media found out that Nicholas's chosen one was 32 years younger, received a suspended sentence for drunken driving, and scandalously broke up with her first husband, whom she often beat up. 4 days later, after sobering up and learning these details, the actor asked for an annulment. Understandably, Erica demanded compensation, saying that such a brief marriage hurt her reputation. The spouses were soon divorced. Fifth marriage to Riko Shibatu. February 16, 2021, at the age of 57 years, the actor got married for the fifth time. His fiancée was a native of Japan, 26-year-old Riko Shibatu. The proposal made by Cage in love via video link. Now the actor with his young wife lives in Los Angeles. In April 2022, Nicolas revealed that his wife is pregnant. The couple was expecting the birth of a daughter. The happy event happened in September. Nicolas, who became a father for the third time, and his wife named their daughter Lennon Aji. Such an unusual name gave a reference to Cage's father and the legendary musician John Lennon. Nicolas Cage now. The year 2023 brought Cage a new film experience. The actor for the first time in his rich filmography starred in a Western. He starred in The Old Way. His on-screen daughter was Ryan Kiera Armstrong, and his wife was Carrie Knupp. Critics have controversially received the release of the action movie, noting a fairly predictable plot and raw camera work. In the spring of that year came out a comedy film Renfield, in which Nicolas appeared in the role of Count Dracula, and his servant played Nicholas Hoult. For the credibility of the image of the bloodsucker, Cage went to extreme sacrifice, agreed to file his own teeth to replace them with veneers fangs. Also, he had to keep multi-layered makeup on his face for over 14 hours straight, but it did not cause the actor any discomfort.